What's up, everybody? This is Brent Brookhouse. I am here with Aligo Ethan Page. It's time for another edition of the Bitter Boys Club. Ethan, how you doing?
Surviving.
We just shared a really weird moment where Ethan tried to walk away and pee before we got started, and I had to hear all of that.
I'm pretty sure I found out how good my headphones are.
Yeah, apparently
Bluetooth.
Really good.
Yeah. Whatever, man. Get over it. You don't pee?
Yeah, I mean, I do. It's just one of those things where it's like, you know what I don't think I'm going to hear today? How it sounds when Ethan Page pisses in Japan.
Well, people would be paying for that if they knew that was going to be on the podcast.
That's intercontinental. So, yeah, man, still in Japan. How are things going?
Decent. The next little bit is going to suck just because there's a really big show coming up on March 25th. So up until that point, there's not a whole lot going on. So I have a show this Sunday on the 18th, then the 25th, then April 1st. So 3 shows left for that amount of time. So it's going to be rough trying to kill time. But rumor has it Mike Bailey will be here on the 20th, so I will not be alone.
So have you had anybody to hang out with, really?
Nope.
God, that was a thing that a lot of people brought up after last week's episode, was that, you know, you don't hear a lot of talking about, you know, the kind of dream trip of finally going and wrestling in Japan and the loneliness involved. So how are you handling that?
Luckily, I have, portable Wi-Fi. It's exactly how we can even record this right now. And it helps a lot because I could talk to my wife at all hours of the day because she has to wake up every 2 hours to feed the baby. So if it's 4 a.m. where you guys are and it's 5 p.m. here, she'll probably wake up and eventually be able to chat. So that's good. I've got a couple friends that wake up early for work, same thing. So it's good because I could at least stay connected, but physically, my vocal cords, the most talking I do is on this podcast because even planned matches and stuff, it's more body language than actual physically talking to people. And if anyone speaks English, it's so broken English that it's not this is the only real conversation I'll have.
That's rough. So what have you been doing to keep yourself busy when you don't have a match then?
Walking. I'll just walk an hour and a half in one direction and then see if I find anything and then just walk back because I don't want to start taking detours and whatnot. So I just walk a straight line for an hour and a half, walk back, work out.
Okay, so lost you for a second there. You were saying that you also work out and then the call.
Yeah, no worries. We're running on some Stone Age technology here.
Wait, you think they had portable Wi-Fi in the Stone Age?
No, that was a joke.
I know.
Although the Flintstones met the Jetsons eventually, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So, anyways, I work out, but there's not a whole lot of options here. I have a squat rack with a bench, so I could do that, or 20-pound dumbbells. So I'm kind of just making up makeshift workouts to get something going, and it's a pretty depressing space. So it's not really somewhere I want to be for long periods of time. So it's rough. It's a mentally draining process of keeping myself busy while I'm here. But I brought my Nintendo Switch. I brought a hard drive and my laptop to do some editing. I have 3 comic books. So, I mean, there's stuff I can do. And then, yesterday, I went to Disney Sea. So I did the parks. done a whole bunch of stuff.
All right. So, I mean, how's the food situation going? Are you settling into like? Are you falling into too much of a routine? Are you still out there exploring, or what are you doing?
At first, I was exploring, but also falling to comfort, which is like McDonald's. It's the only like American thing around here, so I had to stop myself from going because the McDonald's here is next level compared to anywhere else in the world. It's incredible. Uh, but like I don't know, I will just get so fat if that's all I ate every day. So uh, I recently stopped and forced myself to go to like a steak joint every day. So every day for lunch, I go to this place called Pepper Steak or Pepper Lunch. Sorry, and I'll get like some kind of like ground beef meat or sausage or steak or chicken. So yeah, so I'm just eating a lot healthier. But every meal comes with rice or noodles, so it's so tough.
And I guess how's the actual matches going?
Oh, good. Like the wrestling, I have nothing but good things to say.
That's good. Do we want to talk about what you've done in ring over the last week?
Yeah, sure. Like I shared a ring with Aja Kong. That was cool.
That's awesome. What was the match there?
So it was the Aja Kong Royal Rumble, and every wrestler had to paint their face. Uh, I originally thought we were all supposed to put Aja Kong face paint on, so I started to do that, and then they told me that it doesn't have to be exactly like it. It's our interpretation. And I was like, oh, well, I'm not her best friend. So, like, I don't want to just mimic her, like, face paint as if I know who she is, like, on a personal level. So that's why I put, like, all the black and I changed the colors up a bit. But then other people just did, like, random face paint, which I was like, oh, man, I wish I knew because I would have put a giant Brahma bull on my face, which is that was Josh Alexander's idea, and I was like, man, I'm so mad I didn't do that. Yeah, so that happened, but so they advertised it forever, and I just assumed that we were just doing this as like a gag, not that she would be there on commentary, and then eventually get in the ring and slap everybody around.
Did she slap you around?
I took one slap. So, like, I got eliminated, and then they just had everyone just kind of stick around for a bit. So I just went into the crowd and sat with fans, which they thought was hilarious, and they were loving because this giant white dude is just sitting in the crowd, sweaty, clapping with face paint on. So the match ended, or the match is about 4 people left. And they did like a spot where they had bananas, so they started acting like Kong, like a monkey, and that offended her. So she entered herself in the Royal Rumble and started whooping everyone's ass and throwing them all out. So she won her own Rumble. They called everybody in. We were all like on our knees, bowing in respect for acting like idiots. And then she slapped everybody. And then we left.
That's Is that like the coolest moment so far in ring there?
Oh yeah, probably. And then up getting a picture with her backstage was cool. She was very nice, very very nice.
All right, and what else has been going on then?
I had like a pseudo comedy match, which was fun. It was like a 4-way, and I got to speak some Japanese, which like it didn't get the reaction I thought because it was more of a gasp, like what? Like what the? Did he just say that? But like I don't know what the hell I'm saying. I just asked like, how do I say this in Japanese? And then they're like, oh, this. I'm like, okay, so then I memorize that. It's not like I'm speaking it. But yeah, so that went well. Got some people laughing in that match. But other than that, like, I don't know. Like, when it's show day, it's a good day because I'm busy and I'm around people. And even though I'm not talking to them, it's my environment. Guys half naked, putting Speedos on, planning matches. I know how to set up a ring. I know how to tear down a ring. So just even seeing that be done, it's like, this is my life. So that's the good part. But a single bed on the floor in like a very dusty, dingy, freezing cold shack is not my life. So the less I spend in this house, the better.
So, I mean, obviously, I mean, from conversations we've had, I think you're appreciative of the opportunity over there, but, like, is there any desire right now to come back anytime soon?
So they actually, after my second match or third match, they've already invited me back. It's just now finding the right time in my schedule to make it happen. I for sure would never do this again, like a whole month. And like, I'm glad you like prefaced it by saying I appreciate the opportunity, because I did. Like, I canceled a lot of shows to be able to be here for this 5-week stretch, and obviously sacrificed a lot at home. Like, I'm missing a lot with my daughter. Like, she's growing so much. I think she's like 2.5 pounds heavier, and like smiling now, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that like I'm getting updates day to day. So I also have a very large bed that I miss a lot.
Oh, okay, a large bed at home that you're missing.
Yeah, at home. Yeah. With like central air and heating and multiple pillows and, you know, a giant duvet that just feels like heaven touching your chest when you go to bed. Here, I lit a pillow on fire the other night. It fell off the bed, and I had the heater so close because I was so freaking cold that the pillow went up against the heater and literally went up in flames. So I woke up, and there was like a legitimate campfire beside my face, and I was so tired, I just blew it out and pulled the pillow back up and put it under my head and went back to bed.
Yeah, that I don't think that's a natural, normal reaction.
No, yeah, it did not faze me.
So I'm going to tell a quick story here real quick.
Please.
This past weekend was Black Label Pro Jar of Flies.
Oh, how was that?
Okay, so it was super weird. I would suggest that people go to Cage Side Seats, the place that is making this podcast possible. I can't stress enough how important they are to this podcast's existence. They are the only reason this podcast exists anymore. There's an article up there. I talked to Mikey, the promoter of Black Label Pro, after the show.
Great guy.
Yeah, tremendous guy. Everything leading up to the show was super weird because there were tons of cancellations, and he kept trying to move things around to make it work. Then the venue triple booked itself. There were 2 birthday parties, and then they told him, yeah, we booked these birthday parties, so you guys can't run the show. Like, day of. And he had to work out with the birthday party, basically inviting all these 10-year-old boys, like, all the kids can come for free, which turned out awesome because they were a bunch of rowdy 10-year-old boys all hopped up on sugar. So that part was awesome.
Probably great fans.
Yeah, they were great. But so all these cancellations, the venue almost kicks them out because of these birthday parties, because that February show got canceled because of weather. So apparently they just thought, like, oh, they're done. Like, the promotion's just done.
Oh.
Which is strange because, Mikey said that they basically the venue asked for February to be canceled just as much as he wanted to cancel because they didn't want their employees to have to go out. So
Right.
either way, Powerbomb was streaming live, and Swerve Video didn't show up for whatever reason. I don't know the backstory there to run the camera. So they didn't have camera people. So I ran the floor cam for the whole show when I was
You saved them.
Yeah, I was there to work. I was trying to, get some video, get some photos, do some interviews, and instead ended up running the camera, which was a very weird situation for me. I'm not like, I can hold a camera still and do an interview. That's fine. But, moving around the ring, constantly tripping over a cord, having no idea about positioning, that was weird. So it was just a really weird situation. And then on top of it, the main event was Nick Gage and Teddy Hart for the GCW title. Right before the match, Mance Warner comes out and basically puts himself into the match. And right away I can tell, like, oh, this is Teddy Hart's fault. And, I mean, it's in the article at Cage Side Seats. I talked, like I said, article on Cage Side Seats, talked to Mikey. Yeah, Teddy Hart refused to put over Nick Gage. Said he'd already done it twice and just wouldn't do business. So they had to bring Manson at the last minute, and basically he took the fall to save the match because Teddy Hart apparently, and I mean this is all according to Mikey, but wanted to do a double DQ in a GCW title match with Nick Gage. Because that wouldn't be the worst idea for the fans ever.
Well, because they already lost their main event, too.
Right, because Tom Lawler had to pull out.
Broke his arm. Yeah. Broke his arm.
Right, and I mean, they lost Chelsea Green. They had a bunch of other people pull out, just due to obligations or injuries. There were a couple injuries at Freelance the night before that changed the card, so it was just like a...
Yeah, nightmare scenario.
Right, and then Teddy Hart does a Teddy Hart thing in the main event. So super weird show, super weird experience to run the floor cam.
How'd you do?
I apparently decent enough. I mean, outside of some positioning issues were the big thing.
Were you running the floor cam that was streaming Powerbomb?
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I have in one capacity or another worked for both Flow Slam and Powerbomb at this point, which in my quest to be a weird footnote in wrestling history, that's a win.
That is so funny.
So
that's good. Good joke.
Yeah, that's some good stuff. But yeah, Teddy Hart doing Teddy Hart things is not the most surprising, but still kind of sucks.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking.
I don't understand. It's so weird to think that anybody would possibly care if, like, oh, he's put over Nick Gage 3 times now. Like, I heard
that Teddy and Teddy and GCW had heat, not him and Nick Gage.
Well, yeah, he said, I mean, and that's in the story too. Apparently he has some sort of issue with GCW also, which, whatever. You're booked on the show. Just,
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Nobody's expecting anybody to walk away with that title at that show.
Right. Fair. That's fair.
So, yeah, I don't know. But that was a whole thing. So, yeah, Cage Side Seats... Good article, I think. Fun stuff. Let's do some questions, man.
Yeah.
The first one's a big one. You heard about Toys R Us closing, right?
Oh my God. It is. So, not in Canada.
Oh, they're not closing in Canada?
No, just America and the UK.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. So you're okay, I guess. This isn't
Not
quite
really.
the crushing news.
No, it is crushing because America is a lot better when it comes to finding exclusive stuff and deals. There will be way better sales in the U.S. Maybe that's why they're going out of business. But there'll be better sales and a lot more of the stuff you can't find here. And everything always gets released earlier in America. So for it to come to Canada, you're looking at like an extra month of waiting. But now, flip the script, Americans are going to have to come to Canada to get the Toys R Us exclusives.
Okay. Are there still going to be Toys R Us exclusives after this?
Hell yeah.
All right. I just didn't know if they'd be willing to, shell out whatever money I assume you have to pay to get an exclusive.
Well, yeah, actually, that's true.
Yep, my problem is we have Babies R Us gift cards that people have given us, and now it's like, I gotta rush and get to the closest one, which is like over an hour away, just to...
Oh, man, just give them to me. No worries, I'll use them for you.
Yeah, we got that baby on the way. We got stuff to get still.
Okay, you better use those soon, man, because they're looking to liquidate.
Right.
That's a good thing, though, is for a couple months, or I don't even know if it's a couple, but for a lengthy period, hopefully not a lengthy period of time, they're going to be going 30 to 50% off on stuff. So, I mean, that's good savings.
Yeah, that's a thing. I think they were talking about doing it within, like, weeks, so...
Oh my God.
I mean, yeah. It's apparently a big rush, so yeah, we're probably heading to the store this weekend.
Well, Kmart closed in the U.S., right?
I know, like, I don't know if all of them finally closed. I know most of them closed, right, several years back, and at the time I was living in Illinois, and we had one that was, like, still right there. Actually, yeah, it looks like there's 3 between my place and Chicago, which is like a 90-minute drive. So there are still some open.
When I did Limitless for the first or second time, Randy, the promoter, took me to a Kmart because I told him I was a toy collector. This is when I was like really deep into finding stuff. And the Kmart was going out of business, and I got a bunch of stuff for like 70% off. And I thought it was awesome. And then in Canada, maybe like 6 to 8 months before that, Target went out of business. Same thing. 40% off the entire store. You could buy the fucking shelves.
Yeah, it looks like Kmart's headquarters are in Illinois, which is probably why, being close to Illinois, there's still a couple stores around here. That question came from at the Indie Wave, by the way, and so does this one, which is, now that you've wrestled in Japan and the UK and all throughout Canada and the United States, what are your favorite crowds to wrestle in front of?
Oh man, that's so tough, because I never want to not give credit, because there's benefits to so many places. Like, obviously my hometown, there's like a different kind of like pride that I have, and they're always very good to me. But I also like debuting for places where people are either unaware of who I am or just like, oh, this guy, and then getting the reaction out of them or wowing them. That's actually what I've really liked about Japan, is coming here as a relatively unknown wrestler, minus like the 4 or 5 people that show up with Ethan Page or Chandler Park t-shirts on, and then by the end of it having the majority of the people coming up to me after the show, like wanting photos or to meet me. It's cool. And the progression of getting more and more streamers every show is also an indication that things are going well, so that's cool too. But my favorite crowd is Cleveland, always good to me. AIW. There is a crowd for Southside Wrestling. It's a small town. The town is called St. Neots, and it's not a wrestling town. It's like a family town. And the last time I wrestled there, it was like a 30-minute match, and it was like a wrestling match. And they were just in awe of this like fight and struggle and battle, and like That's the reaction I want. And then you go to another place that is known for that in America, and people are just like, when are you going to break your neck?
Right.
And that I hate. Like, don't book me ever again. Just let me stay home. So it's very hit and miss. It's very tough to pick a favorite. New York in Laboom I would put that as a top. Obviously not wrestling there anymore, but doesn't mean it wasn't one of my favorites. Austin for Wrestle Circus. That crowd is always fantastic. Chicago, Freelance, same thing. Yeah, usually big cities you get big crowds and good crowds.
Right on. All right. At Top Rope Tony sent a bunch of questions as well. With the inclusion of intergender titles at some shows, how many titles do you think a typical independent promotion should have?
3 or 4.
Okay.
Main title, tag title, either a mid title or a female title, or both. So there's 4.
All right, that makes sense.
Like for Alpha One, I don't have a women's title, but women have held the main title.
Right.
So it's like, I feel like at this point, for me to actually like be like, oh, here's the girls' belt, is a step backwards.
Right. Yeah, I get that.
Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you've established
I
them as being able to compete at the highest level in the promotion. So then saying, like, hey, I created a title just for you guys feels like
a handicap.
Right.
Yeah. And like, for me, it's never like, oh, it's a girl. It's like, no, like when Ruby Riott, she was our champion for a while. And it was because she was the best wrestler there, in my opinion. And if you're the best wrestler, you're the best wrestler. It has nothing to do with sex or whatever. Like, that don't mean shit to me. Like, either you're really good or you're not. And I guess it's all based on either my opinion or the way the crowd reacts to you. So, like, if you're the most over person on the show, you should be the champ.
Yeah. I don't know that. I don't know here. As a promoter, what is one piece of advice you would give to the Young Bucks and Cody ahead of All In?
Yeah, like,
yeah. No offense, but
here's my advice: keep doing what you're doing.
Right. I think they're all right.
Yeah, they're fine. I was actually talking to Cody about it yesterday. I was getting some tips on Disney Sea, and I just asked him, I was like, hey, how's All In going? And he's just like, well, we ran out of hotels already. I was like, dude, that was like 3 days ago.
Right.
So, like, they don't need advice. They're doing fine.
Yeah. What do you think? Are they going to hit 10,000?
I mean, I hope so. What's the capacity of the place? Exactly 10,000?
Oh, man. I will look that up while we're talking.
Yeah, because it would be sick if they just sold the place out. And even if, like, obviously they would, if they're looking for 10,000, they're obviously getting a venue that holds 10,000, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, it says for basketball games it's 10,000. For concerts it's 11,800. So I mean, 10,000 is
Oh, so for basketball games, 10,000. Never mind actually putting the court, like,
right.
Seats on the court.
Yeah, I mean, the Wikipedia says it's an 11,000 seat multi-purpose arena.
I hope they hit 11,000.
That would be.
And I think it's possible. But wait, now it's a convention.
Yeah, I think that's a big help. If it's something more than coming to town for a wrestling show, then you bring in the big crowds.
Yeah, and I'm 99% sure if you're a promoter in the Chicago area, if you're not running the day before, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I mean, run, you know, run shows for the 2 days before. Do anything you can to.
Yeah, make it a weekend, all in weekend. It's like that's exactly what happened with Mania, and
Right.
it's so far away from WrestleMania that you could do like this is a mid-year Mania weekend that it's been created by the guys DIY, man. They're just doing it themselves, and that in itself is like this like punk rock underground we need to support thing. I think it's so cool.
Well, what would it take for you to ever run an Alpha One show at something like that or Mania weekend?
Oh, I don't think we have enough like of a following, and I don't have enough of a budget to just be like, let's risk it all. Like I am so okay with being Hamilton, Ontario. We have another town, Oshawa, that is doing well. So like that's enough growth for me for the amount of time I put into it. And like it's not that I'm not wanting to reach for the stars. It's just I have so much going on that this is not my only like job is being a promoter. So like I'm okay with it not getting any bigger than it is.
Yeah, I would think it'd be easier to do something like, I don't know, like co-promote or something like a Alpha One versus freelance or something that doesn't put it all on you.
Yeah, and even that I probably wouldn't do just because if it's not going to be the best, I don't want to do it. Like I would never want to half-ass it if I was to do something like that. Obviously, like if it just falls in my lap and someone else is paying for it, yeah, sure, I'll do it.
Right.
But I'm not for that kind of like risk and reward. It's at a point now where it's almost just self-sufficient, so that's good because then I could just focus on my personal career and my family and stuff like that while still providing Alpha One for the wrestlers in Canada and the fans in Hamilton and Oshawa. So,
All right. What expectations did you have going to Japan, and have they been met or exceeded or fallen short?
I didn't have. Oh, I had expectations that I was going to do more comedy. I think we talked about this last time, and how I'm
Yeah.
like a very serious wrestler here. But it's also made me appreciate myself more, and like I don't know. Not that I'm not wrestling in America. I'm having a lot more fun and just like I got like I'm free flowing, joking. Or this puts me in a position to actually be like a serious wrestler. So I have to have a different mindset and presentation for myself and the character. So it's refreshing. It's been a refreshing trip, and I hope that I get to keep some of that when I get back, and it changes my style.
We talked on one of the first episodes of this we ever did where, I mean, you talked about that you feel like you could go out on any show and do a straight wrestling match and have, you know, the best match on the show, but it wasn't always, you know, what your role was on the show, I guess. So
Yeah, yeah,
this
and
is
like
just.
then we had
Oh, go ahead.
that this star rating analogy of like I'm not perceived as that. So I even though I could go out and have the best match ever, they're gonna love the other match more because of who's in it, because they're expecting that and that's what they want.
Yeah, what we said at the time was that, you know, you're basically starting at 2 stars and working up in terms of expectation of what kind of match they're going to get, whereas, you know, Matt Riddle or somebody like that, they're like starting at 5 stars and working down, and it's not a knock on you, it's just what the expectation is for the type of match. And, you know, something that does have a little bit more gaga or whatever isn't necessarily aiming for that 5 star. It's aiming for, you know, 5 stars worth of entertainment, but not 5 star wrestling necessarily.
Yeah, exactly. And it's fine. I'm okay with that. Like my career is doing very well, So it's not like it's a hindrance to my success. But yeah, so like I'm never put in those positions unless built over time for 1 or 2 blow-off matches. And at that point, you have that expectation. And then I can reach that ultimate goal of having quote-unquote 5-star match. But here, it's different. Like, I came unknown, go out there, wrestle. Okay. And it's been, like, such a fun and rewarding experience to do what I did when I first started wrestling now. And I'm not pigeon-toed into this, oh, it's Ethan Page.
Right. Yeah, he's going to come out and, have some funny lines and...
Yeah, cut a promo or be a douche or be funny, like fun or... Yeah, so it's nice. It's very nice.
Right. Updates on toys or merch or whatever. How's that going?
Here, not much. I haven't really ventured out to look for anything else recently. But I will be checking out some wrestling merch shops soon. My little brother wants something from wrestling from Japan, so I'll hook him up.
All right. We talked about him earlier, but hey, it's Mikey from Black Label Pro asking if you're going to watch the new Roseanne.
Oh yeah, of course. Did you guys see the trailer for that?
I have not watched the trailer for it, but I mean, I know I'm going to watch it, so...
Dude, it looks so good! Yes, of course I'm going to watch it. There's a bus, or a train in New York right now, that's dressed up as the living room of Roseanne. So, like, the chairs on the subway have, like a blanket and walls and pictures of the family. And it looks like the living room just for advertising. The whole car is done up like the living room.
That's crazy.
Yeah, look it up. It's sick. So I cannot wait. Of course I'm going to watch it. You out of your damn mind, Mikey from Black Label Pro?
All right, let's get some questions from Wade Buswell, the king of questions on this podcast.
Yeah, sure.
Any guys that you're around at DDT Pro?
Hold on. I need to address something quickly.
Shoot.
Because I feel like a dick. But, so, Wade Buswell, a great fan of the podcast. I would almost even say a character on the podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
He asked me if I could get him an autograph from the Great Muda on a show that I'm having on March 25th with him in the locker room. And at first I was like, oh man, how do I let this man down and tell him, yeah, I don't think that's possible. Like, I'm not just going to walk up to the Great Muda and be like, hey man, can you sign this thing for this guy? So I was like, you know what? I have to be a little mean about it. And I was like, yeah man, I don't think that's possible. But it's been bothering me that I was like kind of rude. But that is a large request.
Right, it's a big request. Wade is a great guy, so it's good to straighten that out.
Yeah, like come on, man. I'm gonna already be nervous enough in a different language saying hello to one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. Never mind worrying about getting Wade Buswell an autographed 8x10, then traveling with it all the way from Japan, making sure it doesn't get wrinkled or damaged in my 5 bags. I'm sorry, Wade. On my list of priorities, it is not on the top.
All right. Well, again, Wade's a super good guy, so...
Yeah, but the answer is no.
Nothing personal.
Yeah, nothing personal. Please do not be offended.
All right. So Wade asked, are there any DDT Pro guys you've been around you would like to bring over for an Alpha 1 show?
Oh, man. Honestly, there's a lot of guys that I would love. But my favorite is I'm gonna screw his name up, but it's Ishikawa. He's like 6'4", 300 pounds, jacked, shredded, covered in scars because he used to be death matches at Big Japan. He does a double stomp. Think about that. He's just awesome, like so awesome. I got to wrestle him in a tag match, and I loved every second of it. He's great.
All right.
Probably be very expensive to bring him to Canada, but big fan. Check him out.
All right. Have you tried driving in Japan?
No, because it's the same as UK here.
All right.
Other side, just steering wheels on the other side.
Thoughts on what you've seen of Alpha 1 Maximum Effort?
Oh, it looks good. It looks like I didn't need to be there. So
is that a bad thing?
Well, I kind of wanted things to go fucked up, so like they could think like, oh man, it's because Paige wasn't here. Like we need him. He's our leader. But yeah, no, I've got them. I've got such a good roster and such a good support system that I did not even need to be there, and everything ran smooth and good. So, I mean, fuck me.
What's the bus trip like to the shows?
Honestly, I've only taken the bus twice. One was 3 hours. The other one was 8 hours. It's the best because I prefer the bus, to be honest, because I don't have to worry about anything. They stop so often for rest stops and food and bathroom breaks and dinner and whatever. I hate taking the train to shows because I got lost one time because I don't know the train system here. But after a certain amount of hours, like parts of the day, trains run at different like tracks, and less frequent, and some of the same lines have different trains, so even though you're in the right place, you could get on the wrong train, which is what happened last night on the way home from Disney. So when it's time to go to a show and my translator is in Taiwan and he's like, oh yeah, just use Google Maps, and then you get to the show 2 hours late, it's not fun.
Right.
So yeah.
All right.
It's hectic.
Getting excited for WrestleMania weekend?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, today I'm going to shoot a promo. Hopefully, I've been trying to upload my blog from Disney yesterday to YouTube, but it's just the Wi-Fi is so slow. So after I get that up, I'm going to shoot a promo on my CZW World Title match against Ricky Shane Page and start getting to promoting that. I'm very excited. I'll be signing at the AIW booth too for a little bit of Friday and a little bit of Saturday. So, yeah.
All right, and I am not because I'm not going, so I'm not excited.
You know what I am excited for?
What?
WrestleMania itself.
Okay, why is that?
So I haven't watched wrestling in 4 years. I was so intrigued by this Ronda Rousey thing that I watched like clips and whatnot, and then I ended up watching the Royal Rumble while I was in England with a couple wrestlers. And ever since then, I've been kind of just keeping an eye on it because it piqued my interest. And then everyone put over the John Cena promo where he called out The Undertaker. So I went on, watched that, and then that started like a YouTube vortex of, oh wow, what's the rest of the card? Like, let's see this WrestleMania. To which I watched a hype video, like a pay-per-view video of the mixed tag match. And I was like, oh my god, like, I actually want to watch this. So I text my brother and I was like, yo, I'm coming over. We're watching WrestleMania. And he's like, okay, it starts at 7 o'clock. I'm like, all right, I don't care. Because I'm flying home Sunday morning. and after CZW. So yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I'm excited. It's the first like my choice to watch a wrestling show in forever. So yeah, pumped.
Yeah, I'm excited for WrestleMania. Last year was my first WrestleMania I've attended live. That part was very awesome, but man, that was tough to sit through the whole thing live, like in a stadium, just based on how long it is, which sounds kind of shitty because like WWE hooked me up with a pass, like I didn't have to pay for a ticket. I had pretty decent seats. So it sounds really shitty to be like, yeah, WrestleMania was tough to sit through live, but it's a long show, man. So I'm excited to watch it from my home, but I will definitely miss all the stuff surrounding it. Was fun. And different because working it last year, like having to be at pretty much the WWN live experience for days on end from early in the morning until like 3 at night every day working was rough, but it was a lot of fun. So it'll be different this year.
Yeah, you know what I'm excited for is just to be a part of WrestleCon, because everything I've done so far, Mania weekend, was always for Gabe and WWN. So now I get to jump to the other side and do the convention. Plus, I'm just excited because I'll be hanging out with the guys from AIW. I know Grado's going to be there at their table, and I know they just secured like a huge guest that I don't want to spoil or ruin, but it's pretty crazy that this guy is going to be at the AIW table, and then John Thorne. So it'll be awesome to just be able to hang out with people I like and do the one show and go home.
All right. I think this is the last question we had. It is from, I'm hoping I say his last name right, TJ McAloon? McAloon, I think.
All right.
Would you reboot Home Improvement, Step by Step, or Family Matters?
Home Improvement.
Not me, just because I worry that any of that money would go to Tim Allen, and he's a garbage person, so no thanks.
Hold on a second. Why is he garbage?
Oh, you don't know about Tim Allen?
No, because I'm mad that Last Man Standing got canceled.
Okay, he thinks that Last Man Standing got canceled because he's conservative and said that being a conservative in Hollywood is the same as being a Jew in Nazi Germany.
Oh.
Yeah. And he's
I don't know what any of that means. I just said because you said Jews and Nazis.
Yeah, Tim Allen said that, being basically a Republican, like a Trump guy in Hollywood, means that he is as persecuted as a Jewish person in Nazi Germany.
So why did the show actually get canceled?
Because it had bad ratings.
Dude, the show was awesome.
I can't say that I've ever watched it. I
loved it.
I can say I won't go back and watch it.
It's on Netflix. You should.
The only Tim Allen thing that I will support is, if there are more Toy Stories, I have to, because they're great. But other than that, Tim Allen, garbage person, also doesn't believe in evolution. So, yeah.
Oh man, Tim Allen's a flat earther?
He's not a flat earther. He tweeted like, if we evolved from apes, why are there still apes?
I mean, that's a question.
It's a bad question.
Is it though?
It's a terrible question.
I don't think so.
We gotta move on here.
No. See, I'm not saying he's right, but what pisses me off with like today's society is that if someone disagrees with somebody's question, they're just like, "Oh, fuck that guy." But explain to me why that's a bad question.
It's a bad question for the same reason that it's okay to be a flat earther, or why it's not okay to be a flat earther, or any other anti-science thing. Like, it takes a
that that question's not anti-science.
It absolutely
legitimate.
is.
No, he's asking a question. He did not. It's not even a statement. He's saying, if we came from apes, why are there still apes?
That is like
That's a legit question.
that is the number one question that the anti-evolution people ask. Also, Twitter's not where you ask that question. You go to Google and you ask Google, and Google will give you all the science you need to understand common ancestors, and that evolution does not mean we should have like apes should disappear. Common ancestor, it's a nonsense question. Also, I don't think.
I don't know, man. I'm with Tim Allen.
Oh my god!
Why are there apes, man? We should all be human.
You have a lot of time to yourself in Japan right now, and I suggest Google.
Look, man, I got limited internet, and I'm using it for this podcast because I love my fans. So I'm just going to tweet Tim Allen right now and be like, yo, bro, why are there apes?
So that's all the questions. We're pretty much up against the time that we try to get. So
I hope no one thinks I'm serious.
I hope they do.
No.
I'm going to edit out the part where you say, I hope no one thinks I'm serious. And I'm just, the title of the episode will be Ethan Page Doesn't Believe in Evolution.
Sure, that's good. Let's create some controversy.
And is a flat earther.
Oh, yes. I'm going to start a stable with Moose and Flip Gordon. It's going to be awesome.
You know that Flip Gordon, I think I saw a podcast thing where he did admit that he believes the Earth is round, but Flip Gordon, the character, does not. So.
Oh yeah, just like Hulk Hogan's dick is huge, but Terry's is small.
Exactly.
Plug your my shit. God. You know what? I don't even care if I have new followers. I'm just so baffled by that. Oh yeah, Flip Gordon, the character. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah. So, Twitter @officialego, Instagram @official_ego, prowrestlingtees.com/Ethan Page. And in breaking news, Alpha One will be streaming live on powerbomb.tv on April 15th, featuring Martin Stone, Josh Alexander, Ethan Page, Josh Briggs, Chris Dickinson, Kobe Durst, Space Monkey, Ricky Shane Page, MJF, Stokely Hathaway. The show is stacked. Please, go out of your way. Watch the stream. You can watch the stream live for free if you sign up 20 days before or after. Use the promo code Alpha1, ALPHA, the number one, all capitals. Don't capitalize the number one. There's an exclamation mark. Use the promo code, get 20 days for free. Watch live Sunday, 4 p.m., whatever time zone Hamilton's in.
Yeah, please give me like Martin Stone versus Josh Alexander for like an hour and a half. If you can do that for me, I'd be happy.
All right, done.
All right. I am
Josh Alexander. I will announce it now. Josh Alexander versus Martin Stone is happening live on powerbomb.tv.
Oh, all right. Hey, there we go. So yeah, I am @Brent Brookhouse on Twitter. We just got a big announcement. That's great. Thank you to the good people at CagesideSeats.com. They, as I said earlier, make this podcast possible. Also, I have been writing a lot of stuff for them. Also writing a lot of stuff for BloodyElbow.com, which is their sister site, which covers MMA. If that's your thing, go over there. Aside from that, we will be back next week. Go hit up Google and ask about evolution. You'll learn things.